What's up, gang? Hope you're doing well. This video is going to be a little different than what we normally do, and I don't mean to be too negative or toxic, okay? I'm trying to make a point here. I'm trying to make a constructive point, and I want to generate discussion. That's the purpose of this video. That's the context for this video. So a couple of you are constantly asking me to watch B Biomechanics. I've seen a couple of his things on Instagram Reels and Shorts, but again, I've told you guys I don't like judging trainers anymore off of Instagram Reels and what do you call them, YouTube Shorts and stuff, because I just think it's not good. It's not a good way to coach, and it leaves out so much context. I just don't know how effective you can be. So it's also not giving a fair assessment to the trainer if I just assume that's what all their training is like. So this is a full YouTube video, right? So B Biomechanics. We watched him train Spencer Dinwiddie, and I had a lot of critiques, right? I had a lot of critiques, basically saying, I don't really think this is the stuff Spencer Dinwiddie needs to work on. And there was a lot of good discussion on there, but a lot of you were like, no, this actually works, or no, you know, you're being a hater and whatever. And I'm like, no, what I'm trying to say is the workout that Spencer Dinwiddie is doing, it makes it look like these are things, like Spencer Dinwiddie is good already. Right? So when he's doing these workouts, it sounds good, and all the jargon and things that the skills trainers are saying sounds good, and it looks good because you got an NBA player there, but for the most part is not things players need to work on. The reason I'm doing this, I've been seeing a lot more B Biomechanics stuff on my Instagram and Shorts, and everything is that exactly what I've talked about. You can go check out my main channel where I talk about skills trainers, but it's the exact issues I have with skills trainers. So I don't know him personally, might be completely different in person, and I've only seen a very small sample size, so keep that in mind. But one of the things that really bugs me about skills trainers is they will say like, well, I trained Spencer Dinwiddie. Go look back at some of our videos and then look at the comments underneath it, and a lot of skills trainers that I put in those videos, they'll come back to me with their resume. Well, I coached this guy, and I coached this guy, and I trained this guy. And I'm like, all right, sick. That's great. I wasn't judging that. I was judging the workout I saw. Well, do skills trainers also talk about when they do train a Spencer Dinwiddie and then they end up overseas, getting cut by the NBA and then getting sent overseas? Right? Like, how many times do you think that happens? And skills trainers only attach themselves to the successes. Now, I will also not put that as a negative mark to a trainer if you're training a player and then they have a worse year, right? If you're training a player and then they end up overseas, if you train a player and they end up out of the league, I don't think that's your fault. But I also just don't think it's your credit when a player gets MVP or a player is one of the best players in the world and you're like, oh, I trained that guy. And it's like, okay, that dude was already going to do that. So anyways, I wanted to preface this video with that. The other thing, the main issue we saw was Spencer Dinwiddie. He's averaged, like, look at what he's done. Look at his career. 4 points per game, 4 points per game, 7. And then he had a couple years in Brooklyn where it was 12 points, 16 points, where he got 6th man of the year, or almost got 6th man of the year. He was in 4th. 20 points per game that next year. And then injured, pretty sure. So he only played 3 games, but 6 points. So, but then back to 13 points a game, 12 points a game, 15, 17, 17, 16, 10, 12, 6, and then 11. So you can see, like, he's had a pretty decent year, or a pretty decent career, but none better than when he was with Brooklyn. But every other team he was on, when he had a good point totals, was when they weren't winning games. So he's never been on a winning team, but he's always been a really good, like, ISO guy. And then we watched the workout that they were doing, and it was all ISO workout stuff. And then we were like, that is not the stuff Spencer Dinwiddie needs to work on. Anyways, all that to say, let's watch a little bit of this. A little bit. I've already spoken for 5 minutes or so. So we're going to watch a little bit of this. And now let's see if we have a different lens of listening, right? A different lens, a different perspective of hearing what the trainers are saying when we take all of that into account. That's how I always now watch these videos, with a critical lens. That's how I always evaluate coaches, always evaluate trainers with a critical lens, right? Not just this one time.
It's dependent on the information that he's presented with, dictates what he then outputs. So I know he loves a single leg. He's also a good finisher if you give him any time or space. Sometimes the more I get to hear there's pressure on the arm swing, I cannot arm swing in the middle, and I cannot square myself to the basket So if I get here, I got to create space and time through dislodge. If you don't want to dislodge, the arm swing has to be way left outside the shoulder into the shot. So I want him to work that zero dribble. So he's going here, he's facing the corner of the gym, and there's barely any jump height, and the arm swing is way out, the alignment is late. We want the arm swing to emerge. I want way out here. So if he gets to the paint and he sees the big, he could push it out and literally take this shot, because this ain't there, or this ain't there, or whatever, right? So
okay, so when I hear this drill, this is what I mean. I'm thinking of all the ways that he's right and all the ways that he's wrong, and my brain starts like jumbling them up, and I go, is he more right or more wrong? And in this particular instance, just like the last time I watched this video, he's more wrong than he is right. Yes, if you want to deal with the pressure, this arm swing all the way up and the fadeaway is great, right? But what's the better play here? He's saying if Spencer Dinwiddie gets to this place, and you're saying if he gets to the decision box that we call it,
big,
you want him doing this?
He could push it out and literally take.
Who is that a win for? Is that a win for Spencer Dinwiddie, or is that a win for the defense? Right? We talk about like the defense's job. If Spencer Dinwiddie gets downhill, let's say it's pick and roll, boom, gets to the decision box. If your defense gets so exposed that that an offensive player gets to the decision box, and then as a big, you hold your own, force him into that high pickup fadeaway at the baseline, and you contest it, to me, that's a win. That's a win. But the fact that you're like, Spencer Dinwiddie needs to work on this, I'm like, no, he needs to work on getting 2 feet in the key and dropping it off to the dunker spot. He needs to get 2 feet in the key and kick it out to the corner. He needs to get 2 feet in the key, and exactly what he was talking about, the little bump and the little shot over the top, second highest percentage shot in basketball, right? This nonsense, this is not what Spencer Dinwiddie needs to work on. This is going to be 2 points a game for him. He doesn't need to score two more points a game. Right? We looked at his stats. That's not what his problem was. His problem was probably playmaking, getting his team to win more games, not him just scoring 2 more points.
This shot, because this ain't there, or this ain't there, or whatever, right? So,
and the fact that, and what bothers me is, do NBA players, do these players, do they trust this? Do they also feel like, yeah, that's what I need to work on? The same critiques we have of Anthony Edwards right now is like, no, Anthony Edwards doesn't need 7 more ways to score the ball. He's already one of the top probably 10 scorers in the world, 15 scorers in the world right now. He doesn't need more ways to score the ball. He needs to be a playmaker. He needs to be better at reading those possessions, and controlling a game, controlling and getting his teammates into higher efficient positions.
Stay here, Spencer. You usually going, you facing there, turning and shooting. Way outside. Yep.
This is just not a good shot. This is just not a good shot. Do NBA players need to make this? Yeah. But you don't need to spend hours working on it. You need to be working on you need to be working on other things, Spencer. Not this.
You ain't even got to jump right now. Yeah. Just keep it like, keep that ball way here. Now shot. The later you align it, the better. So if it's like almost like.
And look, this is Kobe. This is Kobe's teachings, right? And I learned how to shoot fadeaways listening to Kobe. And it's like he just knew he could jump however he wanted, but as long as his shoulders aligned with the basket by the time he shot it, he felt like it was a normal shot for him. So some of the stuff he's saying is good, right? Some of the stuff he's saying is bad. And that's why I said, I just try to put it into my brain and jumble it up and go, is it more good or more bad? This is more bad. You're getting to a bad spot on the floor. It's not an efficient shot anyways. Like the defense, this is like planning for the defense to be playing pretty good defense. Like these are 3 things that aren't good. But then if you can like pull out some miracle and make this shot very efficiently, the defense is just going to defend you differently. Like they just won't let you get to that spot anymore.
Still going to disturb your flow. Yeah. He got to come up outside that.
But you could just stand there you could just be a defender. And this is how I used to practice it. I would just have someone put an arm bar on me just like they would in the post, and I'd have them put their hand out and be physical, and I'm like, just foul me, so that way I've got to get through it with my elbow. So I've got to get through the foul, boom, and then I can align my shoulder and shoot, and that's how I repped it out.
Because that's where this is all the space where the defender's reaching. Of the pass.
All right, see what else we got.
The right, the left, you so far out, nobody can get to that.
Not even you, Spencer. Not even you can get to that at this point.
But Spencer's gonna go, you go here, Jake. You go right here on this side.
And now all of this stuff he's working on too, like you're probably not going to get this overseas, buddy, because they're going to hit that arm, they're going to hit that elbow, and they're not going to call it. They're going to be pushing you on that. I need to go check out some of his game film and see if he is getting these shots that he's working on. I seriously doubt it. You do not see this shot very often in EuroLeague.
This side right here. Where Spencer got to jump to, he can't go here. Could go back that way, but I want some of that sideways. Way arm swing, way right. Yep. Yep. And you could go off one or you could jump off two. Two, you could do both in the game. But I think two is going to really help your stability. Jake, you going there. Spencer's going 45 forward. Yeah. Keep working 2-foot jumps, right? 2-foot jumps. Yeah, 2-foot jumps. Good.
Again,
now,
it's just so tough because when you're building a skill, when you're building a shot, like I like to layer it up. So first, like, identify what the problem is. So is Spencer getting to these spots a lot in a game and being required to make this shot? If he is, and it's worth putting time into, okay, now let's go rep it out. Let's rep out this one because this is happening a lot. But again, we're now getting to these nebulous spots on the floor, and it's like, oh, from the elbow you can fade away and do this. Oh, from here you can float and do this. You can also do that. Now that input is like, okay, there's 100 different kind of moves and shots that we can do. What did you get better at? Whereas for me, again, as a player, I'm like, what? No, exactly what spot on the floor are we trying to get to? Spencer's an NBA player. We should be talking about exactly to that spot. If you're getting exactly to the decision box, you got your one shot. You got one shot. That you only need one. You don't need 5 different ones. If he's smaller than you, you got this. If he's bigger and stronger, maybe it's a kick out, right? But it's just like quick reads, quick decisions. This is, again, we just overanalyze these shots, overanalyze these things. It should be very simple. So again, this video is not to knock biomechanics. It's just, again, to kind of shed light on like the skills industry in general. Again, I've done a full video on this over on the main channel, but if you look at it from a lens of like a player being at an NBA level, they're getting trained by a trainer and then they get sent overseas, would you blame the trainer? If you're saying no, then you can't give the trainers credit for coaching NBA players or training NBA players. You can't give them credit when someone does well and be like, I did that, because we have as coaches, we have far more failures than we do successes. But that's why we should be holistic coaches, and it's about teaching people to be better people, teaching them character, work ethic, all that other stuff, because that's what's going to carry them onto their journeys anyways. How often do we speak about it? The most important thing is your strength and conditioning and athleticism. That's more important than all this skill work anyways. What does it take to be successful with strength, conditioning, athleticism? It takes discipline. It takes focus. It takes effort. So you got to teach those characteristics anyways. Steph Curry's trainer, maybe we need to watch that video, but he talks about that, about that's the most important thing, and that's the most important thing they focus on for Steph Curry. And you see all the skill work and everything Steph Curry does, that's only a small part of it. And everyone just hyper fixates on that. So anyways, this was supposed to generate discussion. This is not to knock a trainer. This is just to teach you a little bit more how my brain works whenever I break these things down. So let me know your thoughts. Am I being too critical, too pedantic about these things? And I could be completely wrong too. I'm not I'm not God's gift to basketball. I just call it how I see it. So you guys let me know. I'm always learning stuff too. And I'll see you guys. Are there any other videos that you want me to break down? See you in the next one.